Hey y'all, let's transplant some lavender. I grow two types of lavender where I am in north central Texas. And the reason I know that these types of lavender will work is because I have killed all the other kinds of lavender that you could possibly buy at the store. Today, I need to move a few of the smaller varieties because the bigger varieties are starting to crowd it out. And if the bigger lavender crowds out the littler lavender, it won't flower as well in the summer. So I need to get those moved so that they get full sun, because above all else, lavender must have full, all day, hot sun to thrive. Let me show you the two that I'm talking about. The first variety that is tried and tested for my area of Texas is this Phenomenal Lavender. Phenomenal Lavender gets really big. So this is all sheared back for the winter, but I can expect it to get 3x3 or 4x4 at its mature size. And it was bred to withstand the extreme humidity of our summers. That's the great thing about this lavender. Lavender is a Mediterranean plant, and it's typically not known to really enjoy a humid environment. It likes really dry heat, cool nights, and Texas just doesn't provide that. So this was bred to serve the gardeners who want to grow lavender here in the South. The second variety that I have tried and tested is Super Blue Lavender. Super Blue is an English lavender. It is obviously a very different plant than the Phenomenal Lavender. It stays a lot smaller. The flowers are dark purple, come out in the spring. It's a much more compact lavender, but it just blooms its head off. This is what it looks like in the winter, but in the spring, it's just absolutely beautiful, very, very fragrant, and an absolute pollinator magnet. These are the lavenders that I need to move. It may be hard to tell, but there are 3 different plants in this area, and they are not coexisting well together because, as usual, I ignored the plant spacing instructions for these plants. This is a Phenomenal Lavender. There are 2 smaller varieties right next to it. This is its own shrub. This is its own shrub. These are both Super Blue varieties of lavender. They're looking kind of sad right now because it is winter, but I am going to move them now because I know that they're dormant. I'm going to bring my shovel. This is the drip line of the plant, or where the foliage ends. I'm going to come even further out to right about here. I'm going to try to get a really big piece of dirt around its root ball. The less disturbance of the roots that I create when I'm moving this lavender, the better. Let me show y'all one very important thing when it comes to lavender. This is the crown of the lavender plant. Lavender demands a few things: excellent drainage, excellent airflow, and the need to stay dry here at the crown of the plant. If you allow water to collect and remain in this area of the plant, this lavender is going to rot and die. Water has to be able to drain away from the crown of the plant and not settle in that one spot. So I'm being kind of picky about the way I settle the soil around this transplant and just moving it away and packing it down out here instead of gathering it up towards the crown. That's not what we want. This lavender will not thrive here if the crown is allowed to stay wet. One down, 2 more to go. You wouldn't believe it unless you actually dealt with it yourself, but unfortunately I'm on solid limestone here, so I'm gonna have to go get the rock bar, because if I put the lavender in directly on top of this rock, it just creates basically a bowl for water to sit in and it will rot my plant out. So I'm gonna need to break this up around the plant before I put it in its spot. Here's where one of our super blue wound up. This is near the edge of a flower bed, so it'll grow nicely here. They only get about 18 to 24 inches tall. They are on the smaller side, so this will do good. Right here, it's gonna get full all day hot sun and good airflow in this flower bed. Coming across to number 2. This is also at the edge of a flower bed. He's all watered in, ready to go. Doesn't look like much now, but it'll start to push new fresh green growth here in March, April timeframe. This is the biggest one that we transplanted today, and I have high hopes for it in this position. It should love it here. And later on this week, we are supposed to get a bunch of rain, which will settle it in really nicely. That'll do it for the lavender projects for the day. I'm glad to get that out of the way while they're dormant, and they will be much happier for it this spring.